Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It's from the Bleachers, broadcasting live from the Findlay Hyundai studio. It's Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Mark, what a weekend it's been.
My goodness.
Welcome back into just another work week, but after a crazy weekend in sports, we're happy to be here and talking about it today.
Absolutely, man. Final Four set up Saturday. My goodness, I was at the Eureka Casino Resort and having dinner with my wife, and all of a sudden we hear this big old eruption outside of Mason Street Grill, and we thought that somebody had actually hit a jackpot. No, it was the San Diego State winning shot. But everybody outside was just going crazy.
Well, it was a big shot. That was a big moment.
I swear we thought somebody hit a jackpot out there.
I bet. Yeah,
I guess somebody
crazy.
did hit a jackpot. San Diego State did.
And anyone who maybe bet on San Diego State, then there you go. You're winning some sort of jackpot there. That was one of the crazier Final Four moments, ever.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Especially because it was, that side, whoever was coming out of that side, either one of them's kind of a Cinderella story.
Sure.
So whichever one was going to come out of it was a big deal. And then the fact that it came down to a buzzer beater just made that game that much more special.
Now, UConn is a 5 seed as well, correct?
4 seed.
They're a 4 seed.
UConn's a 4, and Florida, Miami was the 5.
And that's right. Miami was the 5.
Yeah.
So really, we've got a 4 seed versus a 5 seed.
Yeah.
Really now UConn has a much deeper history in basketball.
UConn has been champions before.
But they're both kind of a Cinderella story this year. You really can't say that against UConn, but as a 4 seed, if they were playing one of the 1 seeds, they definitely would be the Cinderella story.
Yeah, that's true.
But they have such a deep history, rich history. It's hard to imagine UConn as a Cinderella, but hey, 4 seed versus 5 seed, it's going to be a really fun matchup.
Yeah, it really will be. So when we look at just looking at the previous champions, so UConn won in 2014. So it was fairly recently. I knew it was recent. I just wanted to figure out exactly how recent.
Right.
So they won in 2014, 2011, 2004, so 99. They've been in it plenty of times. They're one of the few blue blood schools that's kind of actually around in this Final Four. And so the fact that they, they're in the championship game as a 4 seed, though, it's not as Cinderella as the San Diego State. San Diego State, you don't think of them as being
heavens no
go-to Final Four school. They're just not.
And right now, UConn 7.5 point favorites right now. So if you want to jump on that San Diego State bandwagon, whatever you want to do, maybe you want to do a high risk, high reward type of bet tonight. Hey, go down, put some money down on San Diego State. Again, 7.5 point favorites right now, UConn over San Diego State. So there's some money to be made if you want to. If you think they got one more game in them, one more, Caden, it's it.
They've already gone through the ringer, so can they continue on? I don't know. I just have that feeling that UConn will come out of this alive, but I hope that San Diego State does. Just because I like.
Oh, for sure.
I like different people winning, different teams, different programs, different fan bases. You want that experience. UConn fans know what it's like. They were there 9 years ago. That's not all that long ago.
I think you, along with me, along with 95% of the country, really only the state of Connecticut is probably the only part of the country that's rooting for UConn.
And anybody who picked them in their brackets, which is also very few.
Very few.
Very, very few.
Very true. So anyway, good stuff tonight. That is I believe, is that a 6 o'clock tip-off? Oh, 6:49.
I was going to say it's later.
So at least we have time you have barely enough time to get home and turn it on.
Yeah.
You should be able to catch the tip-off, though. If you get out of here at the end of our show, you should be able to get home for the tip-off.
That should be.
Yeah.
That should be. Yeah, so that's going on again tonight. It should be fun. I'm excited. I'm going to watch a little bit of it for sure. If not all of it. We'll see. We'll see how the game turns out.
I just got a notification. I was like, why is my phone letting me know something? Or my watch.
Yeah.
So I just checked it. Well, I just got a notification from Domino's. It's time to order my pizza for the big game.
Now, that does beg a question mark. What is the go-to food for a game like this? Because honestly, Domino's sounds pretty dang good at a night like this.
I think any type of pizza.
Pizza's always high on the board.
Depending on if you schedule ahead of time, get that Domino's, get whatever. Maybe it's a last-minute decision. You got to buzz over here to Little Caesars. They always got those hot and ready to go.
Yeah.
But, I think any type of pizza, any type of wing, that kind of Super Bowl food.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, This is a big game. So any type of Super Bowl food.
Well, I know we're doing burgers. A burger is
totally acceptable.
Right in that.
Absolutely.
It's in that alley. So.
And that begs a question.
Okay.
That I have here. Would you try a peanut butter and jelly cheeseburger?
So I've heard that those are very good.
Yeah.
I haven't had one. I want to say like Big Shots has one.
Well,
is that correct?
I will tell you.
I know that there's a place in town I've been to that's like, hey, we have this. It's really good. You got to try it.
Culver's.
Culver's has one now,
yeah,
huh?
Culver's has that. They're testing a new bacon cheeseburger that comes with peanut butter and jelly on it. It's called the PBB&J burger.
PBB&J? What's the second?
Yeah.
Is it bacon?
Bacon, yeah.
Peanut butter and bacon and jelly cheeseburger.
Yeah. So it was on a location in Wisconsin. So we'll
Makes
just have
sense.
to see.
That's kind of headquarters for Culver's.
Yeah.
So that
Anyway,
makes sense.
yeah. So you
I have heard
mentioned
they're
burger.
good. I have heard that PB&J
hamburgers
are
on your
good.
burger tonight. Seriously, try this. Let us know. Report back on your burger tonight. Slap on some bacon. Slap on some peanut butter and
What
jelly.
if it's not good?
And lettuce. Well, then you got another burger right there, and you didn't have to pay for it.
Just make another. I didn't have to pay for it. I paid for my groceries.
That's pennies on the dollar compared to going to Culver's or In-N-Out or those others. Where you're going to spend $10 to $13 on a meal. That's going to be
fair.
Pennies to the dollar.
That's fair.
So if you're going to try it at home.
All right, we'll see. We'll see what maybe.
You're not going to do it.
Yeah, probably not.
Come on, Caden.
I would want to one of these days try it. That's something I'll say it's on my food bucket list, but it's not on it for tonight necessarily.
Hey, another thing that you're not going to do is you're not going to shave your beard.
My beard.
I gave him an option to get off the hook, and UConn beat Miami, so Caden is off the hook. He can keep his beard, and he doesn't have to just shave it off for have a mustache. So yeah, you got off the hook.
I got lucky.
Now just remember that I put that olive branch out there for you to have that option.
I know, and here we are. And do you know what's funny about that?
Yeah.
Was I originally would have picked Miami, but you picked them first. So I was like, I guess I'll go with UConn. So this could have gone the other way had you let me pick first. But you just went along and you just said, nope, I'm picking Miami. And I was all right, then I guess I'll take UConn.
I know.
Sure. But I like the underdog. I love going with the underdog.
Me too.
And to me, Miami was the underdog in that matchup anyways. Yep. But UConn wins. And we'll see what they do tonight. I get the feeling that it is going to be UConn winning tonight, but I'm going to be cheering on San Diego State. I want that for their fans.
Right.
So, and I know there's a few San Diego State fans here in Southern Utah. I know some of them personally that are big-time fans and very excited about the
UConn?
Aztecs run. No, about
for San Diego State. Yeah.
Excited about their run tonight. So,
yeah, me too.
So we'll see. I wanted to also, let me take a look here at something. I want to see in our fan challenge bracket who is left here. So we have Ray Salas, who's representing San Diego State.
Okay. Boy, Ray's a big Aztec fan tonight.
And Brett Warnick, who's representing UConn.
Oh, my gosh, Brett.
So is it going to be Brett or is it going to be Ray?
Wow.
Which one is it?
Again, sorry, Brett, I'm rooting for Ray, but but you will.
You have the odds. The
You
odds are in
definitely,
your favor.
you definitely have the advantage, and I would be very happy for both of them. But yeah, I'm sorry to say I'm rooting for Ray to win, but if Brett wins, that will be great as well.
Hey, either way, both those guys have already won a bunch of stuff just by making it to the Final Four and
Yeah.
now to the championship game.
Right.
It's a lot of good prizes.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Next year, remember, beginning of April of next year, when we start bringing this up again, you guys got to get those seeds so you could be attached to a team and be a part of the fan challenge. It's one of those things that's really fun. We had some great turnouts at
Yeah, we
different
did.
pop-up broadcasts and remotes this year. A lot of people calling in, and we got our 64.
Yeah,
But I get the feeling we could fill that up pretty quick if we really wanted to.
yeah, I think so too. We could
So-
probably have 2 of them.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have Brett and Ray that are there. So,
Hey, congrats! I'm
good.
sure. I'm sure neither one of them expected to be there. Seriously, I mean, when you have a 4 seed and a 5 seed, probably neither one of them figured that they would be there.
probably not. I mean, not in this scenario where there's so many. I mean, there's so many good teams,
Yep.
and they all just got knocked out, right? By the way, the bracket challenge is going to be Yale Morby. That's no question. Yale Morby wins it. So, and what's funny is we work with somebody who is like, oh, that guy's my neighbor, and I ran into him, and he said, hey, I'm doing a thing on your radio station, and I'm doing really well. He was all excited about it. So,
Right.
and he should be excited. He's going to win it. He's got UConn winning it all. And just the fact that he even had UConn at all, nobody else had UConn or San Diego State in their brackets. So honestly, pretty commanding win right now for
Yeah.
Yale Morby. So congrats, Yale Morby.
Wow.
You're going to end up winning it all. So
And that one is the 900.
that's the $995.
And we need to hold Connor to throwing in that extra $5.
He said
as
he'd
well.
throw in an extra $5. I expect him to slip a $5 bill in on top of that check or that gift card that we end up giving him at the end of the day. So
And again, for all of our listeners and viewers, it's $995 because we're 99.5 on your dial. We're also 95.3, but we wanted to give away more. So
Mhm.
we went with the 99.5. You can also catch us on YouTube. You can stream us. Make sure you download the app.
download the app.
It is
For
so
sure.
great to listen to on the app. You know, you can buzz around town. You can go up to Cedar. You can go everywhere. And not that radio isn't great, but the app is just always just right there. You can just stream it. So that's how I listen to us. Not us, but
But to the station.
to our station. Yes.
I actually mostly just listen on the radio.
You're old school. See, you're old school when it comes
Yeah.
to that, and I'm the new school when it comes to
so-
listening in my vehicle.
So here's the thing. In Enterprise, I'm far enough away where I kind of catch glimpses of it. The second I hop over that first range of mountains, 5-minute drive, I have 99.5 all the way through to St. George.
Yeah.
So once I get over that hill, I can tune into it.
Have you tried the
when
app
I'm,
yet?
When I'm at home, I listen to the app.
Have
Yeah.
you tried the app in your vehicle though, like all
No,
the way?
not really.
No.
Not really. The problem is I have. The problem is there's one spot where I lose service, so then it's
Yeah.
just buffers.
Yeah.
So for me, it's actually easier to listen to the radio
Okay.
in that one spot, just
Sure.
because I get the radio signal there. I don't get the stream just because my
Yeah.
phone buffers. So it just depends. And that's the good thing about it is there's enough options that no matter where you're at, you can still catch it.
Yeah.
So even if you're in a spot with a bad signal and maybe the stream doesn't want to come through very, very good for you, that's okay because 9 times out of 10, the radio signal is there for you. And
And
that'll come through.
And hey, congratulations to Rocky Barney. Rocky Barney won the Choose Your Ride event down at the Eureka Casino Resort. One of our friends of the station, friends of Canyon Media, Eureka Casino Resort, and Stephen Wade Auto Center partnered up with Eureka. He won $50,000 to Stephen Wade Auto Center.
That's a lot of dough.
Now, he could get 2 $25,000 cars, $50,000 towards a brand new Camaro, whatever he wanted to do with that $50,000, he can do at Stephen Wade Auto Center. It was a lot of fun to be a part of that event, and I appreciate Eureka Casino Resort and Stephen Wade Auto Center for for allowing me to have that opportunity to MC because it was a lot of fun. And again, congratulations. Rocky Barney was the winner.
Yeah. And with that said, with Eureka Casino Resort, no better place to make your bets on sports betting than Eureka Casino Resort. I know Utah's weird about that. They don't like sports betting here in Utah. But here's the thing. You can drive half an hour and get your fix in at Eureka Casino Resort.
Yep, right there at the William Hill Sportsbook.
So if you want, and this is a topic of discussion, especially living in one of, I think maybe 2 states. I don't know. I need to look into it. There are very few states that don't allow sports betting.
Is Idaho one of them?
Idaho lets betting.
Idaho does. Really?
They have their own lottery.
Oh, yeah. We need to get on that.
Yeah, I don't know why we don't have a state lottery either. You can make some good money from that.
No.
Like, think of all the taxes that would
here's the
could
deal.
go into that
You can't,
we wouldn't have to pay, you know?
You can't win if you don't play. And since we don't have Utah lottery, we don't play.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go down to Arizona, but
Yeah, and instead now you go and you play the lottery in Arizona, and the taxes off of that go to Arizona, not to Utah.
Right.
So if you're going to play, why not tax it and then get it to Utah, and now Utah makes some money?
Although my goodness, where is that tax money going in Arizona? They are taking forever to do that bridge.
I'll tell you what, it's not going to that bridge on I-15. That's not where it's going.
We were just driving through on Saturday and Sunday, Saturday going down, Sunday coming back. And again, primo working time, and there's not one person out there working. And going down for Thursday night football when you and I were going down. I don't remember.
2 seasons ago, we were going down for Thursday night football, and it was still under construction.
And I don't remember ever seeing anybody working. When do they work on that thing?
I don't know. I started to see some towards the end of our time doing it last season. But that's the thing. It's been 2 years.
Oh, my goodness.
And I don't go to Mesquite all that often. We go there, for our Thursday night footballs, we'd go a lot. And over the summer, I went a few times just for fun, just because I enjoy going.
Yeah.
And every single time. I mean, it surprises me that I'm like, this is still going on, huh?
Yeah, still going. So they need
crazy.
they need to pick up the pace a little bit on that. I mean, obviously, we probably don't. Our listeners probably don't include ADOT management and higher ups. But my goodness, it needs to get done.
It needs to be done for sure.
Jeez.
One of those things that we can gripe about.
I will say, though, too, I did notice that when you cross the bridge now, you're crossing on the south side. So they did switch it. Yeah, they did switch sides. So you're crossing the bridge on the completed side now.
So they're halfway done.
Oh, my gosh. Don't say that. My goodness.
Oh, man.
But yeah.
I hope it's done sooner than later. I hope it's done before we start going down for football again.
Oh, boy.
August.
I'm not counting on
August. Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. I'm going to be down in Vegas a few times this summer, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I want to get down to some aviator games because those are always tons of fun. And yeah, along with that, there's always events going on. So I want to get down there for Formula One in November too.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if I can. It's expensive.
It is expensive.
If I could swing away to get in there, we'll see.
Maybe we can swing some, media passes
some
or something.
Stuff.
Drop our the Fan Sports Network, CBS Sports affiliate, maybe. Hey, April Fools, did you do anything?
No, but I got fooled.
You did?
I can't say what happened on air, but
really?
I got fooled by my wife.
Oh, you're going to have to tell me off air.
Yeah.
Can you tell me off air?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I put a April Fool's joke out there, and I don't know if any of you follow me on social media, that kind of thing, but I had said that Macy and I went out for a 14.1 mile hike, and we found this very rare desert flower that blooms only in excessive rainfall years. And I just took a picture of a random desert.
Flower.
Yeah, just a flower, something blooming. And I only had one person call me out on it.
That they were like,
it was Brian Young, one of our coworkers here. He goes, this sounds like an April Fool's joke on 2 levels. And he nailed it.
You're like, first off, there's no way you guys are hiking
14.1 miles. We actually did a 2.5 mile hike.
That sounds a little more realistic. Yeah, I like that.
And I just took a random picture of a flower, but it was funny. I had several people saying my son my smart son included.
The smart son. That insinuates you have
no, I
both
don't.
sides.
No.
No,
But
I'm just kidding.
he goes, Dad, you got me. He goes, I just figured you and Mom did that. So
That's funny.
had several people tell me that they would just, they thought that we had done that.
Yeah.
So anyways, it was a fun time.
No, that is awesome. And by the way, I know both your sons, and they're both smart.
They are. Yeah.
That's funny. No, I didn't do anything for April Fool's Day. I will say that's the one day that I don't really care about. I'm not a big prankster. So for me, like trying to pull a prank, I'm like, it's too much effort.
Right.
I don't know. It's unless it, I don't know. I like good pranks, the kind that maybe end with something that's better than,
Right.
So, but like yours was a wholesome prank. I like wholesome pranks,
Yeah.
Something that just makes people think like, really? You guys did that?
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
no, but
Exactly.
anyways, yeah, I'm fine with that. Hey, before we wrap up the segment, one more shout out too with the women's basketball championship.
Oh my goodness.
Happen. And they've been getting viewers like crazy. A lot of it has to do with Iowa's Caitlin Clark, who is just so much fun to watch play.
Generational player.
And she has the attitude to go along with it.
Yeah.
And what's funny is she got a technical foul in the game for giving no attitude.
Yeah.
She literally was just like walking to the team huddle. The ball was coming towards her, and she just kind of like flicked it out of the way, and it went out of bounds.
Yeah.
And so they gave her a technical for throwing the ball.
Well, and I know that there's been some controversy with her, putting your hand in front of her face, can you see, you don't see me.
Yeah, that was
and
funny,
then
though.
Reese did it on Iowa, and who won the national championship? LSU, thank you. Just had a little brain fart. And, they're like, when Caitlin does it, it's moxie, it's, nice, good attitude. And when Reese did it, it was, thuggish, that kind of thing. And I never thought either one. Somehow people in the media and people out there just spew stuff. But
yeah, it's kind of stupid.
when I saw it I didn't watch the game live, but when I saw a review of it, I certainly didn't think anything of it. But, a lot of people do. But yeah, she is a generational player though, for sure.
Yeah, she is a great.
She's so
great
good.
talent. Well, again, UConn, San Diego State going on tonight. You sent me a clip.
I did
a little sounder.
Well, this one is this was a leader into the to the men's championship tonight. Go ahead and play that though.
Yeah, here we go.
The great Jim Nance.
We can run this one down for the Husky Express, heading to a Monday night championship appearance with its 5th straight double-digit victory. It's Butler with 2 seconds. He's got to put it up, and he wins it. He wins it with the jumper. A San Diego State miracle.
That is when I thought somebody hit a jackpot at the Eureka Casino Resort. I'm not kidding you. That casino just erupted. So much fun to be at, for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I'm so excited for this game tonight, just because it has been some really intense storylines all the way through this entire process of March Madness, of this entire tournament, the Final Four. The first game between San Diego State and FAU was just so much fun.
Yeah.
And really did come down to the wire. I thought for a second there FAU had their shot.
They had a 12 to 15 point lead in the second half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely had every right to make it into that game.
I think it was 15 if I remember right.
Yeah, it was something like that.
But yeah, so big time comeback by the Aztecs. Hey, coming up when we come back, there is some Region 10 baseball and softball rescheduling, and we'll go over that when we come back.
All right. Yep. Stick around here with us on the Fan Sports Network.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports. Welcome back in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers, Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Back at it here in the Findlay Hyundai studio. Now, Mark, we've had some baseball and softball going on over on Friday night, I guess. It's been a little bit now, but some local baseball and softball being played. Let's get into it a little bit.
Yeah, first off, there's been a slight schedule change. So if you're going to Max Preps, you're going for Des News for your schedule, just keep in mind that Desert Hills at Cedar was supposed to be at Cedar tomorrow. Now, with this storm coming through, they made a change early on. Actually, I heard about it last Friday, but they changed the date to where Cedar will be playing at Desert Hills tomorrow, and that's both baseball and softball. So Cedar at Desert Hills tomorrow. Now, tentatively, they still have scheduled in Cedar on Thursday since they did the home and home swap. So right now they will have it scheduled to play in Cedar. We will see how this storm goes through Cedar. Right now they're getting some rain or some snow right now. They're supposed to get snow tomorrow as well. And so it's questionable whether that field will be ready for a Thursday afternoon game. But right now it is still scheduled for Cedar. We will definitely let you guys know as soon as we hear about it. We just got an interesting fact from our sports writer, Jeff Richards, who lives up in Cedar. And Cedar has not had a home spring contest yet, except for one soccer game.
That's a lot of sports they're missing out on right now.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
They've been having to travel down here to even play their home games right now.
So of course, again, I'm from Enterprise, right? And I know that Enterprise is in the same boat where they played at Dixie High School the other day just to get a game in.
Yeah.
I want to say it was them against Parowan. And
Okay.
they had to play it at Dixie High School.
Yeah.
Because there's nowhere to play.
Yeah.
Everybody's fields are covered in snow, and then the second the snow melts, it snows again.
Yeah.
So even when the snow's melted, they're wet and soggy and not safe to play on. And then what, right? And then by the time it kind of somewhat dries out, it snows again. I got some messages today from my wife, from my brother, people that are back up in Enterprise, and they're saying, hey, here we go again. And I'm getting these videos of snow just coming down like crazy. So if you're traveling, be safe, by the way. That's another one of those things. Be safe if you're out traveling today because it's not great. And even right now, I'm looking outside, and we got wind like crazy.
Yeah, it is windy out there.
It's looking a little dark outside. So
yeah, for sure.
Not raining yet, at least over here by our studio. So
right. Yes, I agree. Just to kind of review really quickly, again, the games tomorrow will be Cedar at Desert Hills, Snow Canyon at Crimson. That's going to be a matchup to certainly look forward to. And Pineview at Dixie. So those are your baseball and your softball schedules for tomorrow. Remember, varsity softball starts at 7. Varsity baseball starts at 7:30. So keep that in mind. Friday night scores, Caden.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So Friday night, first off, our game of the week was fairly intense just because it was a battle back and forth of defense. A lot of good defense being played where it was nothing, back and forth, not able to get any runs on. Finally, Pineview in the 4th inning gets 1 run in, and then 5th, still nothing. By the 6th, it's now tied up, 1 run and 1 run, and then in the 7th inning, a 2-run shot to put Snow Canyon on top, and they end up winning that game in a walk-off.
That's
3-1.
That's a great baseball game right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime you end with a walk-off is always fun.
Because the other two, well, certainly the one, Crimson, Cedar at Crimson, 18-0. Crimson puts it to the Reds.
Yeah.
Who, again, let's tip our cap to the Reds. I know they lost 18-0, but
they don't have a field to practice on.
Yeah, exactly. They don't even get a practice.
So this is a team that's going out there and just hoping for the best. They're not even practicing baseball. I mean, they practice baseball-related things, but they're not practicing baseball.
Right.
If you know what I mean. It's like
they're not getting grounders on.
No, it's like going to play basketball, but all you've done is shoot foul shots, and you're expected to go play a full 5-on-5 game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not easy. It's not easy to win games when all you're doing is some BP.
To me,
and that's about it.
I think your analogy is close, but even a better analogy would be like, you can't go practice basketball, so you go over to Fiesta Fun and you're just shooting on the little, the game.
You go shoot,
seriously.
Yeah, you go shoot on that little tiny game, yeah.
So anyways, 18-0 Mustangs over the Reds. And then the other game was Hurricane at Desert Hills, and Desert Hills gets away with a victory 10-7 over the Tigers. So they went 2-0 versus the Tigers last week. But this is the time when Region 10 really starts heating up again. I'm excited for the matchup between Snow Canyon and Crimson. That will be that'll be a telling sign of who is going to be, one of the dominant teams. Is it going to be Crimson Cliffs, who, played a very close one against Desert Hills in their first matchup and then blew them out in the second matchup? Is that going to be a similar thing where Crimson gets away with a close victory and then blows them out? Or are they going to split 1-1? Or does Snow Canyon go out and surprise people and get 2 wins against the Mustangs?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Mustangs they're built to win again this year. Again, I don't put anything past Coach Sechrist, though. He has a great program out there, Snow Canyon, and he will have his team ready to play.
Yeah, I agree.
So it'll be a fun week in Region 10 baseball.
Yeah.
And softball.
And right now on the standings too, you look at it, and Crimson and Snow Canyon both on top right now without having any losses in region play.
Right.
Dixie's close. They've just had a bye week. That's
Yeah,
the only
exactly.
difference is they're right there, but they've had a bye week. So they are a part of that conversation. But until the other teams have their bye weeks, then right now I'd say those two are the ones on top. So we'll see by the end of the season where everyone comes out. I looked today and there's still no RPI for baseball. I haven't seen anything come out yet. I don't know if you've seen anything, but
anything yet either.
I looked today on UHSAA and they hadn't posted an RPI for baseball. So still nothing that way. Now, looking at softball, over in the world of softball, couple of games on Friday where Snow Canyon wins 15-0 over Pineview, and then Crimson Cliffs 9-0 over Cedar. So a couple of those games there. Now I will say that Crimson Cedar game until the 5th inning, it was a 1-0 ball game, and then in the 6th inning, Crimson had 5 runs on the board. So Cedar was holding on for so long against Crimson, and then just towards the end they just let go with. And I don't know if maybe there was a pitching rotation. I don't know what the story was there, but in the 6th and 7th, things got a little further out of hand than Cedar would have liked. So,
and remember, Desert Hills played Hurricane.
It was the day before.
The day before on Thursday, beat the Lady Tigers 15-0 with Lulu West's perfect game, no hitter. So we talked about that on Friday.
Yeah, and that one was going on right behind our heads over there when we were at the baseball game, the makeup game between Crimson and Desert Hills. So
when it comes to the standings for softball, Desert Hills Thunder 4-0, Snow Canyon Warriors also 4-0, Crimson Cliffs Mustangs sitting at 2-2, Cedar Lady Reds at 1-2, and then the teams that are having a little bit more difficulty, the Hurricane Lady Tigers, which I expect them to really come back and have a pretty good season. They've got a good team out there, but they are 0-4 as of right now. They've faced the 2 top teams in the Warriors and the Lady Thunder. So Lady Tigers should start getting some wins. Lady Panthers 0-2, and for some reason I only have the Lady Flyers down as playing 1 game, but that can't be right.
Nah, I don't think that's right.
But they're 0-1 as far as Des News is concerned.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
So,
yeah. Let's talk about soccer for just a second. I'll throw out some scores here for you. So on Friday, these teams matched up. You had Snow Canyon at Hurricane. Snow Canyon with the win, 3-1. Dixie was at Cedar. Yes, the one game that was played at Cedar, Dixie got the win. Cedar got the win in shootouts by 1. It was tied at 2-2.
Shootouts are fun to watch.
Yeah, tied 2-2. Shootouts went, and it was 5-4 on the shootout. So Cedar gets the win, the Reds over the Flyers. And then Desert Hills took on Crimson Cliffs, and Crimson got the win with a single goal, 1-0. So there's some soccer scores as well. So we're at that point, though, right now in spring sports where we're pretty heavy into all of the region play now.
Yes.
We're starting to see enough of it that we're really getting into it. And even track is there right now. There's big meets going on. And the thing about St. George, and this is what I love, because me being a track athlete when I was in high school, what I loved about St. George was they'll host half the state of Utah.
Right.
In a track meet. Right. And so you get to go up against some of that extra competition that you don't normally get to go up against. But even still, even with that said, let's talk about a few of the standouts from track that I want to point out. Some of them just to throw out some names. Here's some of the sprinters from Dixie. Caden Cooper took first in the 100 meter. Was set to take first in the 200 meter, but was not able to participate in the final race for whatever reason. I don't know if he jumped early or not, but he has did not finish in the final race for whatever reason. He was set to take first in the 200 meter, had the fastest time of the day. Not sure what happened there. Samaya Jones from Crimson Cliffs, first in the 100, second in the 200, and third in the 100 meter hurdles. Now, Lucy Harris from Desert Hills, first in the 200 and second in the 100 hurdles. And remember, this was a meet with a lot of schools there. So
yes, it was.
So shout out to just some of that's just a few of the results.
Just to give you an idea, Samaya Jones, you mentioned the 100 meter dash.
Yeah.
She edged Drew Schwartz of Desert Hills This is how close it was. By 1,000th of a second.
That's so impressive.
A
That's fast.
1,000th of a second. It was Jones winning with a 12.708 to 12.709. Wow. So the top 10 girls teams, we'll just do the top 5, was Pineview girls take first with 100. Crimson Cliffs at 85 took second. The Lady Reds took third with 84 points. The Lady Thunder took fourth with 70. And Snow Canyon took fifth with 56 points, followed by Middleton, Idaho, Millard, Parowan and Canyon View tied, and Hurricane took 10th. On the boys' side, Snow Canyon dominated with 163.5 points to Cedar's second place, 98.5, almost doubled them up. Pineview with 88 took third. Crimson Cliffs took fourth with 84, followed by Desert Hills took 55 points to take fifth, followed by Dixie, Middleton, Idaho, Hurricane, Ridgeline, and Millard for the top 10 boys team scores. And you can find that story on St. George News.
Very good. Very good. Yep, lots of good track going on. And I'm trying to think where the next invitational is. I don't have the schedule here. I have the schedule of everything that they've done so far, but not a schedule of what is to come still. So,
Yeah.
So I'm not sure which one is next, but it's been a good season so far.
I've got N because April starts with an A. I've got an April Fool's joke that I want to tell you guys about when we come back.
Ooh.
It's a good one.
All right. Let's hear more next on From the Bleachers.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports. Welcome back in, everybody. It's from the Bleachers. Caden Floormaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Broadcasting live from the Findlay Hyundai studio. Get more than you pay for at Findlay Hyundai. Well, Mark, we're getting to that point in our winter sports season where NBA, NHL, both of them getting to the point where they're starting to wrap things up a little bit with the regular season. We're close.
Getting close to playoff time.
Yeah, very close to playoff time. So I know that, being the Jazz fan that I am, they're at the point that they're not making the playoffs. They're not making the play-in tournament even. So I don't expect any sort of sudden movements, any sort of sudden turnaround on that. So they're out.
There's so many teams, though, that are right there with that, 36, 37, 38 wins that, they could bounce up to 10 or 9. It wouldn't surprise me a bit if they did that, Caden. But you're right. There's, do you want, at this point, do you want them in that playoff?
No.
So, yeah. They're not going to do anything. Why mess with your draft status when nothing's going to happen anyways? But it's always fun when your team gets into the playoffs.
Yeah, but it's always also fun when your team gets a top 10 pick.
That's true, too.
So
Very
that's
true.
where I'm at. I'm like, just lose.
I know.
And here's the other thing. Walker Kessler in the game against the Nets yesterday went out with concussion protocol. Now, anytime you go out with concussion protocol, that means you have 2 games that you're going to miss out on. At that point, that would only leave 2 more games in the season anyways.
Yeah.
There's only 4 games left. If I'm the Jazz, just sit everybody. Let everybody just sit. All of your top talents, why even play them?
Because they're being paid to play?
Yeah, but they're injured. Half of them are injured anyways.
If you're injured,
that's what I'm saying.
no, but
don't a lot of them are like, hey, maybe I can get back before the end of the season. I'm like, don't risk it. Like, why come back for 2 games and then re-injure a hamstring if you're calling Sexton?
But don't sit the healthy players. They're being paid to play.
No, but the thing is their best players are all in some way injured. So why play those players is what I'm saying, Like I said, Walker Kessler's out with concussion protocol. He could maybe play 2 games. I say don't risk it. Don't even play him. You have Jordan Clarkson who's been out with injuries, Colin Sexton, Larry Markkinen.
No, come on, get out there.
Come
on.
I'm good, especially with the concussion. That's like one of the worst. Nowadays, we realize, hey, the brain's kind of important for life.
I know.
Yeah, get out there and play.
Get out there. Rub some dirt on it. Get out there.
Look at it. Look what happened to Antonio Brown for just getting out there and playing. The guy's
no kidding.
off his rocker now.
Yeah, that is true.
Anyway, so I don't know. And I feel like a lot of Jazz fans are also in that boat of just like, it's fine. The season's done. We're not winning a championship.
I think for the most part.
We don't care about playing in the playoffs. Let's just get through the season. We're excited about the offseason.
Yeah.
The offseason is where things are exciting. So we'll see about that. But
the play-in game right now, the play-in tournament is the Lakers at 7. Man, what is that logo? Who's number 8?
We have Lakers, Pelicans, Timberwolves, and the Thunder.
Yeah.
I feel like Timberwolves and Thunder could flip-flop potentially. We'll see. That's a full game out. So
what's weird is the Lakers are only 1 game behind the Warriors and the Clippers.
Yeah, so the Clippers, Warriors, Lakers, 3 of the 4 California teams could really mix up a lot right
and the
now.
Pelicans too. They're 40 and 38 as well.
Yeah, that's true. Pelicans as well. So which basically is saying that any of those teams could end up being just set in the playoffs, or they have to go through the play-in tournament.
Right.
We don't know. That's what's interesting about it. The 4 California teams, I say, or three of the 4 California teams. The Kings are set. They're third. They're gonna be third. They'll start the playoffs. They're not moving anywhere. They're in third, which is impressive. That's a big turnaround for the Kings from haven't been in the playoffs in
for sure.
Decades now, and they make it in, and not just make it in, they're the 3rd seed,
and they're
impressive.
They're a solid 3rd team as well. The Suns are about 4 games behind them, so they've got a nice little cushion for 3rd seed.
On the other side, on the East Coast for the Eastern Conference, Bucks are the 1 seed. They've clinched the division. So they're for sure in the playoffs, and of course they division clinched. You have Celtics at 2, 76ers at 3, Cavs 4, Knicks 5. All of those teams are in the playoffs no matter what. Seeding is still up for grabs, but I think all of them should stay where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't have enough wiggle room that any of those teams are going to move around.
Right.
Outside of the Bucks just tanking and losing every game and the Celtics winning every game, something like that could flip-flop it, but it's still far enough out. I doubt that's going to happen. 6th, Nets, followed by Heat in 7th. The Hawks in 8th. They have the same record as the Raptors in 9, and then 10 is the Bulls. So that's pretty set there. I think all of the teams in the East are fairly set at where they're at.
Yeah.
Besides, of course, the Hawks and Raptors. Those two can kind of flip-flop interchangeably depending on how the rest of the season goes. Everyone else is at least 2 games away from the next team.
Yeah,
which seems like a lot with how many games are left.
Yeah, 4 to 5 games left is all?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the Hawks record. They're 39-39, 78 games, and there's 82 games.
And they have 4 games left.
Yeah.
None of which are against the Raptors, by the way, because that would be interesting.
I had to find a record that was easy math.
Yeah, 39.
I found the Hawks at 39-39.
Add that up, subtract it by 82, you're left with 4. Boom, done. Every single game here or every team, I should say, in the Eastern Conference standings, 2 games except for the Hawks and the Raptors.
Yeah.
There's 2 games between all of these teams. I don't think any of those teams are going to switch around. So, depending on the play-in tournament, because that's the thing, the play-in tournament throws things off so much, you don't know who you're going to face in the playoffs now.
That's exactly right.
Outside of the Cavs and the Knicks, they'll know who they're playing. Cavs will play the Knicks. 76ers will play the Nets. And that's about it. Outside of that, that's kind of where things can get iffy.
Yeah.
So Hawks, Raptors, Bulls, Wizards, they'll be in the play-in tournament. And I say this with a fair amount of certainty just because right now the East is not nearly as tight as the West is. They've separated themselves enough that it's not really up for too much debate. So
I mean, the West is really kind of wide open, very similar to the NCAA bracket where would you be surprised if the Warriors were in the Western Conference Finals?
Yes and
or
no.
the Clippers. I mean, these
yes
are teams
no.
that can beat anybody on really any given night.
Yeah, and I say, yes and no just because the Warriors haven't looked that good.
Even the Lakers and the Pelicans.
I don't see the Lakers. But the Pelicans,
You're
maybe.
telling
Pelicans
me that if LeBron
James
James and Anthony Davis don't get hot, they can't carry their team past the first or second round?
The thing is they don't get hot for long enough to do so. They just haven't been those players this season or the last few seasons.
You are underestimating Yoda.
I think you're overestimating the Lakers as a whole.
LeBron James is going to have something to say about that.
Yeah. He'll be saying it from his couch watching the NBA Finals.
Ouch. Wow. No respect for the king.
Not at this point in his career.
Wow. All right.
And the thing is, I know he can still bring it, but it's not like when he was carrying the Cavs.
Well,
through,
sure.
so.
It's not like when he's 28.
Yeah, it's different. I don't see that happening at all.
I don't either. But
if I had to choose, I would say that we're going to see. I'm torn between the Bucks and the Celtics. I could see either one of those two teams making it, and I really would guess Denver. I know those are it's kind of a 1 seed and a 1 seed, but I would say that it's Denver and we'll go Boston. Why not? Denver and Boston in the finals.
I wouldn't be surprised to see
Why
the
not?
T-Wolves there, the Suns. I mean,
Timberwolves are losing like crazy. They're not going to make it.
Well, they're just waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Isn't T-Wolves who's the number 2 seed?
In the West?
Yeah.
Timberwolves are like 9th.
Well, who's the number 2 seed? I see a big wolf staring back at me.
That, my friend, is a grizzly bear.
Man, my eyes are bad.
And so Memphis is the 2 seed.
Memphis. Okay, I can see Memphis then.
I was like, the Wolves. I'm like, it's not the Wolves.
Man. But
Yeah.
we expected them to be good, though.
I thought they might be.
I did too.
They just weren't.
I thought the Pelicans were going to be a lot better as well.
Yeah, the Pelicans were surprising. I thought they would be better.
Yeah,
They are one that is surprising. So
for sure.
hey, let's get to this real quick before we go to a break.
All
the
right.
NHL standings. The one team that I really want to get to here is, of course, Vegas Golden Knights.
Go
They
Knights,
are
go.
top of the division in the Pacific Division.
But it's tight.
It is tight, but they have clinched the playoffs at least.
Yeah.
So for sure, we're going to see the Knights back in the playoffs. They missed it last year just barely, so I'm excited to see them back in the playoffs. That last year is the only year they've ever missed, and so
Yeah,
they're back
crazy.
in it. So not too bad right now, but we still have more NBA and NHL to get to coming up. I have a story to get to regarding both the NBA and NHL combined a little bit.
Okay.
So that's coming up next.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports. Welcome back in, everybody. It's from the Bleachers, Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice, Caden, we teased an April Fool's joke, and we didn't get to it last segment.
I forgot. We need to get to it.
Now, tell me if McDonald's isn't onto something here, but it turned out, it started off as an April Fool's joke, and I'm kind of hoping that it turns into reality.
Okay.
So in Australia, McDonald's teased a new sandwich called the McFry. Okay, the McFry.
Okay.
A quarter pounder with French fries stuffed inside. People were so excited, they drove to McDonald's, and they were very disappointed that it was just an April Fool's joke. However, I think they're onto something there.
I mean, I would try it. I'd try that before the peanut butter and jelly one you mentioned.
I'm with you on that one as
if
well.
If McDonald's was selling one of those, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I got to get one. The McFry?
The McFry.
Come on, McDonald's. Get on top of that.
It was an April Fool's joke, but they had several people in Australia that went to McDonald's because they saw this on social media, and they were disappointed because they could not get one. Now, I guess you could order a quarter pounder with a small order of fries and put it in yourself, but it's always better when somebody else does it for you.
I mean, I'm all in on a McFry. I don't know about you. Introducing the all-new McFry. I mean, it looks good.
Dude, does that not look tasty?
It looks good.
Can you put that on our screen for our YouTube viewers?
Let me see if I can.
Because
for our YouTube
that
viewers.
Looks delicious.
Yeah, I got it right here. So give me just a sec. It's not cropped very well, but
would you not run to McDonald's to get that if it was like a limited
check
time
that
only?
Out. Introducing the McFry.
That's tremendous.
I mean, it looks good.
That would be good, dude.
I would try that.
Anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there. I know it's an April Fool's joke, but if that turned into reality, it would definitely be something to try, especially if it was for a limited time only.
So now I'm thinking that maybe I should go to McDonald's for lunch tomorrow, get a quarter pounder, and just get a small order of fries. I don't have to go
Dude,
crazy
it would
on
be good.
and make my own McFry.
Yeah. There's no question in my mind that it would be good.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Now, so there's one video that I've seen recently. Since we're talking food, I don't care. I'm sticking on food for a second. There's this guy I follow. He's from England, and his big thing is just basically like he finds things about America that he finds strange, and he'll either comment on them or whatever. If it's food stuff, sometimes he'll try those food things. And one of the things was he had recently seen a Wendy's pop up in England.
Okay.
So he's like, I've never been to a Wendy's. And he's like, I want to go try it out. What should I get from there? And everyone says, hey, make sure that you at least get a Frosty and dip your fries in the Frosty. That's a lot of people in the U.S. do that.
I totally do that.
Right? And so he's like, fry in a Frosty. He's like, come on, you want me to dip my fries in ice cream?
Yeah.
You guys are insane. He tries it, and of course he loves it.
Of course.
He's like, I think I just created a quantum loop here because this is so insane. He's just going off, nerd talk. But
yeah.
It's just like, this is insanely good. And I'm like, yeah,
I do that with
it's good.
Wherever I go. When I get a milkshake and some fries.
Milkshake and fries. This is
whether
a
it's
great combo.
Frost Top or whether it's Wendy's, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I always do that.
Do you get the glacier at Frost Top?
That is my favorite thing on the menu.
Oh, it's so good.
I get the strawberry glacier. I know the grape is good. Actually, cherry's good. They're all good. My go-to is strawberry. But yes, glacier is my favorite menu item on that menu.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. 100%. Hey, so one thing as well that I was teasing before we went to the break.
Yeah.
Something from Twitter that popped up on Friday, and we didn't get the chance to talk about it on the show, but let's talk about it now.
Okay.
This popped up Friday, towards the end of the day on Friday anyways. So there was a meeting recently between the head of the NHL, okay, and the owner of the Utah Jazz, Ryan Smith.
Okay.
So NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman met with Ryan Smith. Basically, he's saying that he's interested in the NHL. The NHL is interested in Ryan Smith as far as potentially being an owner of an NHL franchise, meaning the NHL likes the idea of moving to Salt Lake. What are your thoughts on the NHL moving to Salt Lake?
It's a winter city. There's no reason why they can't. Usually when you've got towns that have an NBA team, normally there's an NHL team also attached to that city as well.
A lot of times.
Because a lot of times they use the same arena.
Yeah.
They seat about the same. I mean, capacity for a hockey game, capacity for a basketball game is normally about the same. So they use the same arenas. I could see that working out. Now, Salt Lake does have what is their team up there right now? Is it
the Utah Grizzlies? And the Utah Grizzlies are a minor league team,
minor league,
but it's not even like a AAA minor league.
It's not.
It's lower than that.
Now, I really think that. I mean, I don't see any reason why Salt Lake could not support a hockey team.
Well, what's crazy is if you go to the Maverick Center to a Grizzlies game, they have diehard fans. Like, they have some very good fans. That arena packs in there for Grizzly games. Like, people love the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a hidden gem because I feel like most people are just like, a lot of people have that mindset of it's minor league. I don't care. I don't know any of those guys.
Yeah.
They're not the names that I know, and I don't know anybody from the other teams coming into play.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's a big draw, right? Is who's coming into play,
mm-hmm.
right? In the NBA, if it's, hey, Kevin Durant's going to be here or Steph Curry's coming into town, that's a big draw. Even if you're not a fan of the Jazz themselves, you might be a fan of some of the other teams.
Right.
In minor league, it's not like, hey, I'm a real big fan of the Idaho Silverheads.
Right. Is that a real team?
I think so, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. I think I just pulled that out of the back pocket. I don't know where that came from.
No, I do think that Salt Lake can support an NHL team because, again, it's a winter city. I think it goes hand in hand. You got the Jazz that's well supported. You're talking to me about that hockey team up there as well that's very supported.
Idaho Steelheads. That was very close.
What'd you say?
Silverheads.
Oh, yeah. You were close.
Idaho Steelheads is a legit hockey team.
You were very close.
I was very close.
I'm still kind of impressed. But yeah, I think they can totally support a hockey team.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, here's the idea. Okay, so the idea would be that Utah probably wouldn't get an expansion team. The NHL just expanded. They picked up Vegas, and now they have Seattle, right?
So you think it's going to be a team that's already established and move there?
It's a team that's already established. Here's what's going on. The Arizona Coyotes are struggling.
Well, because they're a desert.
Phoenix.
They're a summer city.
Well, here's the thing, though. Phoenix is a very good city for hockey. People in Phoenix love hockey. I just heard recently that you could drive 30 minutes in either direction and find like 4 different local rinks to go skate around at.
But you just said they're struggling.
They're struggling because their ownership sucks. It's not because the city doesn't want them there. The ownership is horrible.
Okay.
Now, with that said, if Ryan Smith were to swoop in and save the day and save that team, because right now the thing is they kind of went into a big issue because they basically weren't paying rent at where they were playing their games.
You got to pay rent.
They weren't paying it. So they kind of got kicked out, more or less. And again, this is stuff that I'm not the most knowledgeable on this subject. It's just stories that I've been hearing over the past couple of years even. They were at one point going to go play in this arena that housed like 3,000 people total.
Okay.
Not a big arena.
That's less than the Burns Arena.
Exactly. It's not very big. And so, yeah, they're struggling. The team doesn't play well. They're 27-37 on their win-loss record. So the team's not even playing well anyways.
Okay.
They're at that point where they're highly considering selling. If they were to sell, Utah would be very high on that list of buyers in Ryan Smith. He's proved he can run a franchise. The Jazz are doing great financially. The big question to me is, where do you put them? Do you put them in the same arena? Do you put them in Vivint, right? Soon to be Delta Center again. Because that arena is not built for hockey.
Is it really supposed to be Delta Center again?
Yeah. Did you not know about that?
No.
I swear we talked about that.
We probably did. I forget things.
Yes. It is the Delta Center.
Okay.
After this season, over the summer, they're changing it.
Okay.
Because, okay, so that arena, not built for hockey.
Yeah.
It's built for basketball. Larry H. Miller built it for basketball. It's a very close-up fan experience.
But
Now,
hockey fits right in with that, though, too.
but the thing is, it's just literally a bigger floor. I mean, that's one of the problems with it. So you could put a hockey court in there, or a hockey, ice
Whatever
in there.
What do they call that?
I don't know, ice, a hockey rink.
Hockey rink?
Rink, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll call it a
We'll
rink.
go with rink.
You can put that in there. The thing is, now the fans just have to sit kind of above it all
Yeah.
because they have to push some of the bleachers out to the
Oh.
side. And so you're not like right up in on the action because they do play games there, right? In the preseason, Vegas and LA go and play there quite often. So
Okay.
you'll see like a Kings against the Golden Knights kind of a game going on. So it's not unlikely to see them there. It's just, again, the fan experience is going to be a little different than it would be for
Right.
basketball.
Right.
You're not going to be right up on the ice. You're not going to be right up on the glass. You'll probably be back out
And I
a
think
ways.
with hockey, you need to be up on the glass. They'd have to change
Yeah.
something.
And maybe it'll work out okay.
Yeah.
Maybe whatever setup they get in there, it's like, it's fine. And maybe it'd be a temporary setup. Who knows?
Right.
But they just put so much money into remodeling that arena. There's no way they would say, hey, let's tear down and build up a new arena that's built for hockey, right? They just spent so much of their time and efforts saying, hey, the bones of this structure are good. Let's just keep it. And we're not expecting hockey anytime soon.
Well, let me ask you this question. If Salt Lake was to acquire the Coyotes, obviously they'd have to rename it, but
They don't have to.
they don't
They
have
could.
to.
Utah has Coyotes.
Southern Utah. Would you be a Salt Lake Coyote fan, or would you be a Vegas Golden Knights?
I feel like the answer to that question is the same question that I get when people say, if Vegas were to get an NBA team, since we're closer to Vegas, would you be a fan of the Vegas team? And to me, that answer is, it's tough to be a fan of a brand new team when I already have a fandom set in another team.
Mm-hmm.
So if Utah were to get a team, I'm already a fan of the Golden Knights.
Right.
But then on the flip side, I live in Utah. I'm from Utah. It'd be very easy to support a Utah team just because it's Utah and I'm from Utah. So
What if they're named Salt Lake and not Utah?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Again, I don't know.
But
Right now
the
I would
Jazz
say
are Utah Jazz.
They are.
But they play in Salt Lake. They should be the Salt Lake Jazz. I am not a
it's Utah.
Jazz supporter. Jazz don't support us.
Sure they do.
They're
They do
4.5,
camps and stuff here.
5 hours away.
They're
They're
Utah
the Salt
makes,
Lake Jazz.
They are the Utah Jazz. They are the Utah Jazz.
I'm just pushing your
I
buttons.
know you are. Now here's the thing. I'm already established in being a Golden Knights fan, so
Yes.
for me, Vegas is my team. I can more easily access Vegas teams. So
It is nice.
I would say I would have to wait and see.
Because I do
Have
have
to
a,
wait and see.
You speak of Las Vegas and with the Las Vegas Raiders moving in there now.
Yeah.
I had a lot of people tell me, Bronco fans tell me that, if they move to Las Vegas, I'll become a Raider fan. I'm like, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't know if any of them did. I still see them cheering for the Broncos. So again,
Yeah.
when we get our fandom, it's easy to say that, if they go there, I'll be a fan of that. But man, our sports are grained into
It's
us.
true.
It really is, more so than we know.
And that's why I say if Utah gets a team, I'm already a Vegas Golden Knights fan. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of people in Salt Lake who are like, I'm not a hockey fan at all, but if we got a team, I'd watch them.
Yeah.
I think that you would even get a lot of people in Southern Utah that aren't necessarily a Golden Knights fan. Like, they still haven't quite latched on
Right.
to hockey. And I enjoy hockey. I think it's a fun sport. I don't watch it nearly as much as I watch other sports, but I enjoy it when I do watch it. I think a lot of fans in Southern Utah would latch on to a Utah-based Salt Lake team more so than a Vegas team.
No, see, not me.
If they haven't already, they're just not, if they haven't already latched on to Las Vegas and they don't latch on to Utah, they're not going to all of a sudden latch on to Vegas.
Yeah.
Is my point.
That's true.
So, yeah. So we'll see.
There's just a lot of confusion in Utah with the Jazz and stuff. It's the Salt Lake Jazz. It's not the Utah Jazz.
Now you're just
It's a
trying to push buttons.
4.5 to 5 hour drive to go watch your Utah Jazz, your Salt Lake Jazz. I can be to Staples Center in also 6 hours to watch the Lakers.
That's like a 4-hour drive to Salt Lake.
4.5 with traffic.
Okay.
What if you
10
go through-
hours with traffic to LA? Come on. You know that's true, too. Because Vegas to LA, that drive is horrible.
I just like that. Yeah. Anyways, yeah,
Oh,
so good
man.
stuff. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That is exciting, though. And to answer your question 15 minutes ago, yes, I do think that Salt Lake could support an NHL team.
Now, in the comments of that original tweet that went out about that being a possibility, a lot of people are saying that they would rather see an MLB team before an NHL team in Salt Lake. Now, an MLB team is a lot harder to support.
I don't
You have
see
to pack 60,000 fans instead of 15.
and 81 games too. I mean, you got 81 home games. So
Versus 42.
to be an MLB city, I don't see Salt Lake. I can see Salt Lake supporting a hockey team much, much easier than supporting a Major League Baseball team.
Well, that's why hockey moved to Vegas in the first place, because they were like, can Vegas support a sports team at all?
right.
They're like, let's give them a team where they only have to show up for 42 games.
And they showed
or
up.
41 games, I mean.
And they showed up.
And they showed up.
Yeah, but they big supporters of Vegas Golden Knights. Now, the Bees do really well.
They do.
They do really well. But there's a difference between what's the capacity there at Smith's Ballpark?
10,000, we'll say.
There's a big difference between 10,000 and 50,000. There's a
100%.
I mean, that's huge.
And 50,000
And-
isn't even packing a ballpark either.
And you don't want to be known as the Oakland of baseball, where you have about 12,000 fans on a good night
Yeah.
in a 50 to 60,000 seat arena, stadium.
Which, even still, opening day, it was against the Angels with Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Shohei was pitching as well.
Yep.
And they had like 15,000 people there.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Which is
that's
like-
opening day.
Which is 15,000 would be a horrendous number
Horrendous.
for
Horrible.
like Cubs, Dodgers, Red Sox,
Yankees.
Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that would be an unheard of
Cardinals.
number for any of those franchises for being just so completely
Yeah.
low. They'd be like, what happened?
And I hate the fact that Oakland is where they are, because the A's are such a historic team. You think back to the 70s and the 80s when they had such great ball players, Reggie Jackson, Ricky Henderson, so on and so forth. They had such great, rich history. And to see where they are now, and then even in those early 2000s years, with Moneyball,
Yeah.
good teams.
And leading into it, Giambi's and that kind of stuff,
yeah, exactly.
right? That, like, there were some good times.
And to see where they are now and how the city of Oakland just doesn't support them, it kind of stings a little bit for me, because I've been a baseball fan ever since I was a kid. When I was 7 years old, 1977, it was Dodgers, Yankees in the World Series, and I've been a Major League Baseball fan ever since then. And so, following the A's and some of their players as well, it kind of stings a little bit, because Oakland is such rich in history, and the fact that they don't support them, it kind of hurts a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love
got
to
to.
see them in Las Vegas, because again, that's going to be more pro sports closer. Now, they won't be my team, because I do have that 42-year obsession with the blue and white, the Dodgers. So there's no way that anything can replace
They could
that.
become your American League team
But they
a little
could
bit.
become an American League team, or I could go watch the Angels play there. I could go watch the Dodgers play there as
Yeah.
well. So I'm in favor of them moving to Las Vegas, but it does hurt a little bit. It'll be really weird.
I and maybe this is my younger generation, where I just feel like, hey, them moving to Las Vegas is just for the best for everything, because the city of Oakland, and I've never been to Oakland. I'm just speaking from what I have
and
been
it is
told
a-
about everyone that has been to that area, especially recently.
Do you have a bleeper so I can
No,
say the word?
nope.
And
I know what
Oh.
you want to say.
it's a hole.
And that's the thing is everyone talks about just the city even surrounding the stadium where people are like, I don't dare leave my car in the parking lot just, in case that I don't want it to get broken into, right?
Well,
like that's how people feel about even just going to the games. They're like, I don't dare go to a game because I don't want to have my stuff stolen out of my car or get mugged on the way back out to
Oakland,
out of the parking lot.
Oakland is a rough area.
Like people talk about it just being rough, and I'm like, I get that.
It is a rough area, and certainly the city fathers just don't want pro sports in Oakland anymore. They've pushed out.
They do.
They've pushed out the Warriors
to save face.
Yes, exactly. They've pushed out the Warriors. They've pushed out the Raiders. The next is the A's. Again, there's no support. I know the new mayor is kind of saying the right things, like, oh, we need to get a new stadium built. The previous mayor, she did not want pro sports at all, and I think it's too little, too late. I think the A's are packing their bags. I think they're on their way out.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that day to come that finally someone is just like, yes, it's happening.
Yeah,
we're going to start building a ballpark
just like
here.
The Raiders.
And that's what happened with the Raiders because the Raiders were like, we're going to move to Las Vegas. And then it was a few months later they decided where they would build the stadium. Like, it was a process, but it all started with them saying, we're leaving.
We're leaving. And the choices were San Antonio, Las Vegas. They were set to be that second team in Los Angeles.
Until the Chargers
went in as well. And I think that turned out the best for both because the Raiders would have been, even though they would have been maybe renters at that stadium, they would have had the biggest following as well. So I don't think the Rams would have liked that. But so I think it turned out great for everybody, though. The Raiders are such great tenants in Las Vegas, doing some good things. Allegiant Stadium has brought in new, concerts and bigger concerts and that kind of stuff to Las Vegas, although it's tough to get bigger in Las Vegas. But Allegiant
but
Stadium
now they have
great.
that venue because before they didn't have an 80,000 person venue, right? You could go to
MGM Gardens, but I don't think they.
But MGM
they
is
don't
20.
hold that much. Yeah, I was going to say 20 to 30. I don't even know how much it is.
It's a basketball arena, more or less. T-Mobile had it.
Right.
You had the Thomas and Mack. Right. There were places in Vegas that could hold 20,000, but not 80,000. Yeah. And then for a concert, you bump that number closer to 90 to 100 because it's all the floor seats.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what's crazy about Vegas having the Allegiant Stadium in there now is it does provide a lot more than football to a city that wants more concerts and big production things. I mean, just from recent, right? The whole Taylor Swift thing being in Vegas.
Right.
Taylor Swift selling out 2 shows. That's basically 200,000 people for 2 nights for concerts.
Amazing.
Garth Brooks does the same thing, right? So Vegas having that venue now for those kind of things, not just the sports side of it, is great. Now you give them a ballpark that holds 80,000 people. Come on, let's do it. What are we waiting for? Let's get a ballpark.
And it's not just about the ballpark too in Oakland. It's also everything that comes with a new facility. The training facility,
absolutely,
all of that kind of stuff. And I'm telling you what, man, Oakland Alameda Coliseum has been there
since
for
a
very, very long time. And even when the Raiders were playing there, I heard players say just the locker rooms, everything. I mean, there's water that drips.
That's moldy.
Yeah, there's water that drips, in the hallways from pipes above them and stuff like that. So, it's not just the ballpark itself. It's actually the facilities also. And, you're not going to get
the free agencies, right?
Yeah, exactly. It hurts you. You're not going to get players to come to Oakland, even with a big paycheck. And we know Oakland doesn't really have big checkbook either. So they're going to struggle. And until they get out of there, it's going to be tough rides for the athletic fans.
And moving to Vegas could help pad that checkbook a little bit too. Honestly, I think you bring more money to the team moving to Vegas, which then gets you better players, gets you more wins. Maybe they could finally see themselves again in a playoff situation.
And, it'd be strange having the Aviators there as well, because I don't think they're going anywhere.
They don't plan on moving.
Yeah, I don't think they're going anywhere, but do you keep them the Las Vegas Aviators, or do you rename them the Summerlin Aviators?
Yeah, you could keep it the Las Vegas Aviators. Why not?
Well, because it could be confusing. That's why.
I know, but Here's the thing, though, is it makes it an easy move when you're moving up from AAA. You don't have to hop on a plane.
No,
you
you would not.
just drive your car across town.
Call an Uber, call a taxi. I know, dude. That would be.
You can still
that would be
sleep in your.
crazy.
You get to sleep in your apartment at night instead of the hotel room they'll put you up in while you're with the team. So
yeah, that would be
you know,
crazy.
That makes it nice. All right, let's go to a break, shall we? And we got more coming up next. Still some baseball talk, though, so stick around.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Corns for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports. Welcome back, everybody. It's From the Bleachers, Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
All right, Mark, let's get to it. We talked some baseball. We talked more about sports teams moving different places.
Yeah.
It ended with us talking about the A's moving to Las Vegas, which I still hope happens, but we're not talking about that now. That's
Now
behind
we're
us.
going to real baseball.
Let's get to the actual gameplay of baseball. You could say it was opening day. You could say it was opening weekend, whatever you want to call it. It's now wrapped up, and we got those first series out of the way. How do you feel about the start to the season so far?
You know what? Opening weekend, I thought there were some great moments, and we'll go over those moments here shortly. We'll go over quite a few of them. There were some really good stuff. Opening weekend was fantastic. Little disappointed in the Dodgers. They were only 2-2 versus the D-backs. But, you know, the two games they won were blowouts. The two games they lost were 2-1. But, hey, I'm not too nervous yet. They're still going to do well. But there's going to be some milestones this year Caden. So here are some milestones in Major League Baseball that you want to keep your eye on for sure.
Yeah, let's get to it.
So 3,000 strikeouts. Now there's 2 candidates that are really close to 3,000 strikeouts. Zach Greinke of the Royals, he has 2,886 strikeouts. He should definitely get there this year. And also Clayton Kershaw, the K-Man with the Dodgers, he should get there as well. He has 2,816 strikeouts. It's an exclusive company. There's only 19 pitchers to get to that milestone in their career. And when you think 19 pitchers, Caden, out of how many thousands of pitchers there have been in Major League Baseball.
Especially that position. Because that's the one position where you have a lot of people that are stepping in.
Usually
during the
there's 10 to 12, I believe, 10 to 12 pitchers on your roster at any given time.
Right.
So when you
Not to
multiply
mention,
that by how many teams there are, by how many years.
Not to mention the 4 or 5 that'll find their way into a roster due to some injuries and stuff like that, too, that get pulled up. So, I mean, yeah. And then you throw that over the course of 100+ years of baseball.
Yep.
It's a lot of people.
I agree. Also, 2,000 hits. We're going to have some players enter that milestone this year. Elvis Andrus with the White Sox, he has, get this, 1,999 hits. I think he's going to make it.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
I think he's going to make it. Andrew McCutchen with the Pirates has 1,949. You know, he's...
Yeah, that's there.
He should get there. I mean, he's not an everyday player anymore, but I would think that he will get there.
That's 51.
I know.
51, I mean,
I know.
You get 1 hit a game. If you could just get 1 hit a game, and again, he doesn't play every game.
Right.
1 hit in the games you do play.
Yeah, he probably
should be there.
A name that we certainly all know, Jose Altuve with the Astros.
He has favorite player on your favorite team.
Oh, jeez. He has 1,935 hits, so he will definitely get there.
Oh, yeah.
Being the player that he still is, and also Freddie Freeman with the Dodgers, he has 1,906. He will get there as well. So yeah, a lot of there's quite a few players that are going to hit that 2,000 hit plateau, and again, it's a pretty good group to be in. So definitely look forward to that. Let's talk about managers for a minute.
Yeah.
1,500 managerial wins. There's really only one.
Only one.
Bob Melvin with the Padres. He should get there. He just needs 64 wins to become the 25th manager in MLB history to win 1,500 or more games. I think the Padres are going to win more than 64 games.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on. That's not a question.
Yeah, for sure.
They'll be in the 90 to 100+ range.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let's talk about the long ball.
Let's do it.
Because chicks dig the long ball.
I think everybody digs the long ball.
Yeah, they do. We have a candidate that should get to the 400 home run plateau, and that's Giancarlo Stanton. Mike Stanton, for you guys that used to follow baseball about 10 years ago. He went by Mike Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton with the Yankees, 379 home runs. No question about it that he will get to that 400 home run plateau.
58 people. Well, he would be the 58th if he gets there.
Right.
57 in it
He'll
right
get
now. And again, that's an exclusive club. How many guys have gone up there to swing a bat?
Absolutely.
In the MLB. So only 57 of them?
Yeah. He'll get there.
I mean, that's a good club to be a part of.
For sure. Let's go to the bump a little bit, or back to the bump. We talked a little bit about Greinke and Kershaw before, but 400 saves. There's going to be a couple of players get that for sure because they're already in the 390s. Craig Kimbrell with the Phillies, 394 saves, and Kenley Jansen, Dodger/Red Sox, with 391 saves.
Yeah, it's a good club to be a part of as well.
They'll get there.
For sure. Hey, let's get to this one. We talked 400 home runs. How about the 300 home run club?
300 dinger club.
It might not be as prestigious as the 400, but it's still a very good milestone to reach. There's a few candidates, one of them with 299, Nolan Arenado with the Cardinals. I mean, he'll break that this week.
Yeah, you're probably right. He will.
Freddie Freeman is at 292.
He'll get there easily.
Andrew McCutchen with 287.
So he's got 2 plateaus with
He's got to get there.
with the hits and the home runs.
And then Bryce Harper with the Phillies, 285. I thought
Easy.
he'd be a little closer than that for some reason, but
not
he's
that
still
old,
so
though.
young.
He is.
He's like 29.
It seems like he's 42, but he's not.
I feel like he's been in the league for 12 years. Oh, wait, I think he has been in the league for 12 years.
And we've been talking about him ever since he was a high schooler, too.
Since he was 13 years old, we've been talking about this
It just
kid.
seems like he's been around forever. So, yeah, but he'll definitely get there, too. No question about it. 250 wins. Certainly Justin Verlander will get there. He has 244 wins. He will get there probably before the middle of April.
Yeah.
Or the middle of May.
And
Probably the end of April.
Being a part of a good team always helps, and he's a part of a good team.
Yep.
You know, it's not the Astros anymore, right?
Yep.
You know, it's not a part of that good of a team, but he's with the Mets. The Mets, they're going to get him there. 6 wins. Yeah, he'll be there. How about the 200-win club? I'm surprised this guy hasn't already hit it. Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, 198 wins. He'll get there quite easily. Now, he did have he looked really good he pitched the game on Saturday where the Dodgers won 10-1, but he looked really good. 9 strikeouts, no walks. I think he allowed 4 hits. If that's the Clayton Kershaw the Dodgers get all year, that will be spectacular. Adam Wainwright also just 5 wins away with the Cardinals. He has 195, so he'll get there as well.
Yeah, he should. He should for sure. Top 15 on the managerial win list, which that's kind of cool to be in the top 15,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
Terry Francona with the Guardians. You got to get used to that, right? At
Indians.
some point.
It's the Indians.
I'm trying to get used to Guardians, but it's tough.
Guardians is such a strange.
Me and Devin were talking about that on the broadcast the other night at
Yeah.
Desert Hills against Crimson. We were just like, it's so hard to get used to calling them the Guardians.
Well, and I think too because the Indians, the Cleveland franchise, there's those great movies, Major League
yeah.
that really kind of, set that name into our brains even more so. It's going to be tough, and I know why they did the Guardians. The
and
bridge
that's the thing
thing.
is
They have a bridge that has like 2 big.
Yeah, the Guardians of the
Guardians,
city,
yeah.
basically. And I don't disagree with their reasoning for changing the name at all, and I don't disagree with the reasoning why they changed it to what they changed it to. It's just so hard to make that change ourselves as well as sports fans. It's tough. Let's get to top 10 on the win list for our managers here. From the Rangers.
Yeah, Bruce Bochy.
That's a top 10 as a manager. Again, a lot of managers have made their way in and out of clubs, so being top 10 is huge. Right now, he's sitting at 2,005 wins.
Look how many losses he has.
Yeah, 2,029. More losses than wins. Sitting close to 500, though.
Yeah.
So, hey, you know what? Take what you can get, I guess. But right now, Dusty Baker of the Astros is in 9th. So it's not like he's going to pass him anytime soon, but could pop into that number 10 spot at least.
Yeah, he has 36 more wins to pass Leo DeRocher and Walter Alston, two classics for sure.
And they'll pass
2
that.
legends.
He'll pass that in June sometime, probably, would be my guess. June or July.
I hope
the
he
Rangers
doesn't,
aren't
but-
going to be great this
No,
year.
they're not going to
so
be
that's
great.
why
No.
I'm like, that's like giving you 500 wins is sometime in
Right.
May. So let's say June or July.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
anyways, I think that's it, right? That's the
is.
end of that list right there.
That kind of goes through that as well. I wanted to get to some top performances this opening weekend.
Yeah.
And first off, the first one that jumps out at me is Trace Thompson with the Dodgers. No, I'm not being a homer for my team. The dude broke out on Saturday with 3 home runs. He opened up with a grand slam home run. Okay. That was his first swing of the year, by the way.
Yeah.
It was a grand slam home run. Then he finished it. Then he followed it up with a 3-run shot. And then he finished up with a solo shot. He had 8 RBI on Saturday to help give Clayton Kershaw that victory. So, beautiful, beautiful weekend for Trace Thompson. I wonder if Clay was there to watch. Don't know. Wonder if Michael was there to watch. I don't know.
I don't know either.
You know, he's the brother to Clay Thompson.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Also, hey, this one will kind of get you going a little bit. Back-to-back homers.
That was
Trout
pretty cool.
and Ohtani.
That was pretty cool. Trout and Ohtani. And it wasn't even just back-to-back as much as it was Trout gets a home run, and then the first swing from Ohtani.
Next
I mean,
pitch.
we're talking 2 pitches in a row, boom,
Yeah.
home run. And Trout's was a 2-run.
Yep.
So in 2 swings of the bat, it was a 3-run game.
I hope.
3-run swing, I should say.
I really hope for baseball's sake, for your sake, for Southern California baseball and for baseball itself, I really hope those two can stay healthy all year long.
Me too.
And play back-to-back like that, because if that's the case, that will not be the very last back-to-back home runs they hit. There will be multiple occasions where they hit back-to-back. No question about it in my mind. But I just hope they can play together, stay healthy so we can see the Angels in the postseason. I want to see Mike Trout and Shohei in the postseason with the Angels. It would be so good for baseball, so good for Southern California baseball, and I know you'd be thrilled.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Just making the playoffs is great. I mean, realistically, you think about it, they make the playoffs, they go to a wild card or whatever, right? They're probably going to have to face the Yankees or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough team to get through, right?
Yeah.
So probably not making it out of the first round. Again, who knows? Maybe they'll just come out of nowhere and be really good this year. They have some promise in some younger guys. And, of course, obviously having 2 MVPs on the roster is going to help as well. But we'll see. The season is so young. But right now I can say, hey, the Angels have a winning record. They're 2-1.
Yeah.
So I can be happy about it.
Some other standout players, Adam Duvall with Boston. He had an outstanding performance on Saturday as well, April Fool's Day. They won 9-8. He went 4 for 5, had scored 3 runs, had a double, had a triple, had 2 home runs. The only thing he didn't get was a single.
Wow. I mean, I'll
almost
take that.
the cycle. He could not get a single. He had a double, triple, and 2 home runs. Goes 4 for 5. That's an unbelievable game for him. Also, C.J. Cron with Colorado went 4 for 5 as well. Had a double, 2 home run game. That was on Friday night. Really some great performances. Austin Hayes with Baltimore went 5 for 5, 2 doubles, and a home run. My goodness, those are epic games that those guys did on opening weekend, and it just makes it a little bit better since it was on opening weekend. Adley Rutschman with Baltimore as well. He went 5 for 5. The day before Austin Hayes did it, went 5 for 5. So anyway, some unbelievable performances there. Also one here that's kind of sticking out, George Springer with Toronto on Friday night in a win against the Cardinals, went 5 for 6.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, those are tremendous numbers. On the bump, before we go to a break, on the bump, Jeffrey Springs on Sunday, 5-1 win, 6 innings pitched, no hits allowed, no runs allowed, actually had 1 walk, 12 Ks. That is a great opening weekend start as well. We mentioned the Clayton Kershaw start, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run allowed, 1 walk. Fantastic start, or actually 0 walks. Fantastic start for him. Dustin May, again, with the Dodgers, very similar to Clayton Kershaw's. Shohei Ohtani in the loss. Come on, Angels. You got to do better for Shohei.
Got to give him more.
But Shohei performed so well. 6 innings pitched. Only gave up, 2 hits, 0 runs, and 3 walks, and 10 strikeouts. So Shohei showed up on the bump. The Angels need to give him a little run support.
They got to give him something.
Anyways, there were other great performances throughout the weekend. It was a great opening weekend for baseball. I know we need to go to a break, though.
Yeah, we do. One more thing before we go to a break. I was looking up the attendance because I get curious about this because baseball is a little finicky when it comes to people showing up to games.
Right.
Top performing stadium was Dodger Stadium. 48,000 was the average. They brought in a total of 192,000 over 4 games.
Jeez.
The lowest... Let's just hop on up the state a little bit of California, and it was Oakland. They averaged 19,000, which
they won't
better average than they had last season, but it was opening weekend.
They won't hit 198,000 until like 1st of May.
They're 3 games into it, 57,200 people made it through the gates, which that would fill the stadium for 1 game. That was across 3. So they're at a third capacity. That's not that good. I mean, you want to sit around half for the majority of your games. So, and they were all primetime games too, by the way. It wasn't like people had to get off of work to go to a game. Their games were all in the evening time or on a weekend.
And hey, so if you are wondering if the new rule changes for steals is working, well, we'll talk about that when we come back.
All right, let's talk about that coming up next here on From the Bleachers. Stick around.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Corns for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports. Hello and welcome back. It's From the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
All right, Mark, let's talk about, again, continuing on with our baseball conversation. let's talk about the new rule changes. Are they really helping the sport evolve?
Well, we've got
in a positive way.
Yeah, we've got a nice little sample size for opening weekend. Now, for those of you that might not know, there's a couple of rule changes that's really promoting stolen bases, and that's an exciting part of the game to me. In fact, a stolen base is one of the most exciting parts of baseball. I love running.
Do you know what I love about it as well? Is in the World Series, if anyone steals a base, you get a free taco at Taco Bell.
That's true. Yep, steal your taco or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever
steal a
they
base,
call
steal
it.
a taco.
Yeah, steal a base, steal a
Yeah,
taco.
it's great.
Now, some of the rule changes, number one, the bases are a little bit bigger.
Yes,
Okay.
18 inches.
18 inches. Also, a pitcher can only disengage from the rubber and go over to first base twice.
Yes.
Okay. Now, they can go over there a third time, but they have to get that runner out. They have to pick that runner off or get him out, or he gets second base or third base, whatever
Whichever
base
one
he
he's
is.
trying to steal.
So
or
he
whatever.
can go over there a third time, but they have to get him out.
Yeah.
And if they don't, he gets a free bag.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the numbers for the opening weekend.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So in 2022, last year, there were 43 attempts to steal a base. 43.
And this is opening weekend.
Opening weekend.
Yep.
There were 29 stolen bases.
Not
All
bad.
right.
Not bad.
Okay. In 2023, there were 84 attempts versus the 43.
Which is double almost.
Yeah,
just shy of being double the amount of attempts.
Yep. And there were 70 stolen bases, so that's over double than 2022.
So
70
basically
stolen bases.
14 were actually picked off.
Yes.
In some way. They were actually tagged out. 70 made it.
Yes.
That's a lot of successful stolen
So
bases.
they are really trying to promote that part of the game. I think they've done some good things to do that.
Yeah.
Again, kind of being an old school baseball guy. I don't even know if I consider myself that anymore because I love the designated hitter
Mm-hmm.
in the National League. I love the rule changes to promote more stolen bases. I love watching the stolen base.
Yeah, and I mean that's right around. Last year it was around 60% or so success rate in stealing bases. Now it's up to about 75 to 80% success rate.
Yeah.
That's an impressive jump.
It really is. And so, again, I think they're doing positive things for that. When I first heard that rule about you can only go over there twice, I didn't read the full rule completely. So I thought, oh, that, if they've already gone over there twice to first base to try to pick him off.
Just a freebie?
That third one, yeah, he could get halfway to second base and, and just go. But the runner still has to be selective as well. I mean, maybe a little bit bigger lead, because if he does come to first, he's got to get you out.
Yeah.
So stretch it as far as you possibly can, because you could be given a free base, or you're going to get a great jump, a great lead, great jump. So, after I read the rule completely, I was more okay with it. I still wish that you could go over there more than twice without
maybe
getting a free
3,
bag.
and then the fourth one.
Because I think that's part of baseball as well. Pickoffs and stuff like that. But I understand why they're doing it. And again, I would rather have the up in stolen bases than and limiting the throws over to first, or the disengagement off of the rubber to go to first or second, that kind of stuff. So I would rather have the positive in stolen bases, because it's a favorite part of the game of mine.
Fair. I get that.
So
yeah, I like it. I like what they're doing. It's moving along, and the pace of play is nice as
it
well. I mean, there was one game that I don't remember how fast it was, but it was like the fastest game since 8 years ago.
Oh,
Or
really?
Something ridiculous like that. Like fastest full game played since however long it's been.
Right.
And that's what I like to hear, is that the rule changes are helping things and progress and evolve.
And I think the only thing that, like, some old timers, old schoolers, whatever you want to call them, won't like about it is, then comparing the numbers, because baseball, more so than any other sport, goes off of, compares numbers from generations. So you look
True.
at a guy like Ricky Henderson. What could he have done in this time of baseball? I mean, he would have lit it. He would have lit it up, and he already holds all the records and all that kind of stuff. But so that's the only thing. The only downfall to it is baseball is so into numbers. Home runs, stolen bases, more so than any other sport by far.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that might, throw off the old timers, the old schoolers.
Sure. I get that. Hey, we got to get out of here.
Let's do it.
So thanks for joining us on the show. We will be with you tomorrow, game day tomorrow. So lots of baseball to talk about as well. So have a good one, everybody. We'll see you.